information regarding the cloaca, which will be our main part today. And another important part is the development of kidneys. So in urogenital system, we have two important embryological structures, intermediate mesoderm and cloaca. So some parts will derive from intermediate mesoderm and some will be from cloaca. So first we will see what is intermediate mesoderm and what will happen to it. So we know when the germ layers will develop, we have the three germ layers: endoderm, mesoderm and ectoderm. Then the mesoderm, it will divide into lateral plate mesoderm and intermediate mesoderm. So this is the intermediate mesoderm, which will form paramesonephric ducts and urogenital ridge. Like here we can see this is whole intermediate mesoderm, okay, which is extending from the which is extending from the cervical to sacral region. Okay, and this paramesonephric duct, this pink color, okay, and this is the urogenital ridge. The urogenital ridge, then again it will divide into obviously genital and nephrogenic cord. Genital and nephrogenic cord. So what we have to see, intermediate mesoderm, which is forming two structures, urogenital ridge and paramesonephric ducts. Now the kidney will develop from the two different sources. So it has two parts, excretory part and collecting part. So the excretory part means the nephrons, which will develop from the lower part of nephrogenic cord. But the collecting part will develop from the ureteric bud, okay, which is mesonephric duct. Maybe you are getting confused with the new term mesonephric, metanephric, okay. So what is there, that when the kidney is developing, it will develop into three different stages. Pronephros, the first stage, okay. So first stage, pronephros, it will be different, the size of the kidney, the shape of the kidney, structure of the kidney will be developed. Then after some days, the pronephros kidney will degenerate and it will become mesonephros kidney. It also will be different in its structure, function, okay, and it also degenerate, and finally the metanephros will develop, and the metanephros is the stage which is our kidney, okay. Pronephros, mesonephros, they are present in the lower animals. And when you see, this stage will be developing caudal to the each other. The first one is little upper, then lower, then final stage of kidney in human being. Like here you can see this is the developing allantois and this is cloaca. So in this you can see many tubules are coming like this. Okay, so first this upper, these are the pronephros structure, a pronephros kidney. This is mesonephros kidney. Finally, the metanephros kidney. And same way, this will give the its tubules. You can see there are small tubules. Okay, so some tubules will degenerate completely. Some will be present at small remnant. So, pronephros kidney, it will start developing at the beginning of the 4th week. Okay, after that In the middle of the fourth week, it will degenerate and mesonephros kidney will start developing. Then early in the fifth week, the mesonephros also disappear and metanephros kidney will start developing. Pronephros develops where? In the cervical region. Meso will develop into the thoracic and upper lumbar region. And finally, the metanephros, which is the human kidney, it will develop into the sacral region. What is the function? So, this is present in the lower animals like fish. The fish will have the pronephros type of kidney. The amphibians will have the mesonephros type of kidney. In human being, metanephros. So what will happen when the pronephros develop? Okay. So we know it is developing from what? From the mesoderm of the nephrogenic cord, where in the cervical region. Okay. So first of all, in this you will have the segmentation. This segmentation will give 7 to 10 nephrotomes, okay, which will develop into vesicles. So like this, we have the pronephric duct. It will have two ends, medial end and lateral end. The medial end will open into the intraembryonic coelom. The lateral end will be fused with each other to form the pronephric duct. Okay, same way like here. Okay, if you see, this is the pronephric duct. Okay, and you can see these are the small pronephric tubules. So this pronephric duct, these are the pronephric duct. So what here I want to show you, about the, here what I want to show you about the two ends of the, this is the medial end and this will be lateral end. So if you see the lateral end, if you see the lateral end of this, okay, so this is the, these are the lateral ends. So all the lateral ends is joining to form the pronephric duct like this. And this duct, where it is opening into the cloaca. When the pronephros is developing at same time, means in the fourth week, there will be invagination of the dorsal aorta. Okay, so small branches of the, because we know in the kidney we have very important structure, glomerulus, right? We have the blood corpuscles, we have the small arterioles. So at pronephrosis stage itself, we have the appearance of small branches of the dorsal aorta. The tubules, it will form the internal renal corpuscles. Coelomic cavity, external renal corpuscles. What will happen to this? In human being, it will degenerate. Okay. So in the fishes and all, when it is present, the tubules will form the internal renal corpuscles and external renal corpuscles. Then next we have the mesonephros. Okay, so where, what is the site for this? It is thoracic thoraco-rumbal region. Here also we have the group of cells, okay, which forms the vesicle, and also these tubules will have two ends, same, the lateral end and medial end. So lateral end, they will join to form the mesonephric duct. Medial end will have the capillaries to form the renal corpuscles. Okay, so same way here you can see that these are the mesonephric tubules. Okay, this is the medial end and these are the lateral ends which are forming the mesonephric duct. What happened to this? The mesonephric tubules, like these small tubules, they will disappear. Okay, but mesonephric duct will be present. So in mesonephric duct which is present, what it is going to give? A mesonephric duct which is present will start giving a ureteric bud. This one, this is number one. Okay, this is ureteric bud. Then it will give this structure in the urinary bladder, which is called as trigone of urinary bladder. Okay, then it will form the upper half of the urethra. Here you can see the upper half of the urethra. Then it will give the Gardner cyst in female. Then in males, it will have the epididymis. You remember, this is the epididymis. Then the ductus deferens. This is the ductus deferens. Then here we have the seminal vesicles and ejaculatory duct. Okay, so like this from here to here, you can draw a line. These are the structures developing from the mesonephric duct. So where is our mesonephric duct? This one. So this duct will not disappear completely. It will give the origin to the ureteric bud and the bladder and part of urethra, part of the reproductive system in males. Now what happened to these small tubules? These small tubules, what is going to happen with this? So if we see these small tubules in male, it will give the vasa efferentia and paradidymis. Okay, what is this? It is not epididymis, it is paradidymis. So if you see, this vasa efferentia and paradidymis, this will be present in the male reproductive system as the embryological remnant, and in female it will give epiophoron and paraophoron. Have you heard this name before? Yes?
I didn't think so.
No? Okay, so these are the structures which will be present, will be very small, but it is present in the relation to the ovaries. Okay, this epiophoron and paraophoron, this will be a very small cyst-like structure which will be present in or around the ovaries. So these are the structures which is going to be derived from the mesonephric duct. Then we have final structure that is called as metanephros, okay, which is going to give the kidney in the higher animals. So this metanephros will grow, okay, it will, okay, so here we are talking about the ureteric bud. So where is the ureteric bud? This is. So this ureteric bud, it will grow and form the ureter. Okay, and its upper end will dilate to form the renal pelvis. So here you can see this is the upper end which is dilating and it is forming the renal pelvis. Again it will divide and it will form the major calyx. Again it will have division and it will form the minor calyx. Okay, so how it is happening? You can see here. Okay, so here you can see that this will be the ureteric bud. Okay, so its upper end will be pelvis, renal pelvis, and then it will have my multiple division forming the minor calyx and the major calyx. So what will happen to the metanephros? Now we have one idea about the kidney, that it has two parts, collecting part and excretory part. So now the excretory part means the ureter, which will be formed by the ureteric bud. Okay, now we have to see about the collecting part. So in the nephrogenic cord opposite the sacral region, again we have the group of the cells which forms the vesicles and finally the tubules. So it's it will be invaginated by the capillaries to form the glomerulus like this, and it will be another part, okay, which will be connecting to the collecting tubules. So again you can see this is the part, this is a structure of the nephron where you can see this is the glomerulus, okay, and this is the medial end and this is going to be lateral end. So this we know, these are the minor calyx, these are the major calyx, pelvis and ureter. These are the structures developing from the ureteric bud. Then what will happen to the kidney? So very important is that now we know that this metanephros, it is developing into which region? Into the sacral region. So our kidney is present in which region? Yes? Is it
Lumbar.
present in the sacral region? No, it is present in the lumbar region. So we need that the kidney should ascend up. It should go in the lumbar region. Okay. So what will happen because of the growth of the body wall, and as the baby has the curvature which will little bit or which will become straight slowly, so this kidney will go up. Okay, even the development of the ureter also will start, so kidney will ascend up. Okay, if you remember when you study the development of testes, maybe you saw that testes will descend down in the scrotum, but for kidney it is opposite. It will start in the sacral region and it will go up, it will ascend up. So as the kidney ascend, or it will grow in three different areas, so it will receive the arteries from different areas in different stages. So at first it will have the median sacral artery. Okay, from here you it will have median sacral artery. Then next it will receive branches from the common iliac artery. But finally the renal arteries in metanephros kidney, it is from the abdominal aorta. Okay, don't get confused that is it receiving from median sacral common iliac. This is all about the developmental stage. Okay, when it start developing, that time it will receive from median sacral, then common iliac, then finally when it will reach to its normal position, it is by the abdominal aorta. Now in kidney also there will be rotation. So first of all the hilum will be directed forward, then as soon as the kidney will move medially 90 degrees, the hilum becomes medially. So we know that it is developing from different resources. It has different many small tubules. So when the kidney will start developing, it will be like lobulated. Okay, we will see why it is lobulated. So but normally at birth these lobulations will develop, will be disappear, and it will become smooth. Okay, it will become smooth. But here you can see that in some people there is one congenital anomalies in which the kidneys will be lobulated. So what will be the anomalies? So sometimes one-sided kidney is not present. Okay, failure of development of ureteric bud or mesonephric cap at one side. Okay, so this there will be no symptoms. Person can live normal life. There could be bilateral agenesis. So the bilateral and agenesis, it is incompatible with life. The baby cannot survive with this. It, in this condition, there will be failure of development of ureteric bud or metanephric cap at both the sides. Okay. Then there will be presence of the supernumerary kidney. It means because we know the from here the kidney will ascend up. Okay, so at that time there will be development of some extra ureteric bud, or there will be branching of the ureteric bud. Okay, so extra kidney which is present could be smaller in size. Okay, so what is the supernumerary kidney means? The extra kidney. Then we can have the pelvic kidney. As we know, this is the normal development, but after development, it ascends up. So, in some cases, if it will not ascend up, okay, or it will remain in the pelvis close to the common iliac artery, and in this condition, there will not be rotation also. So, the hilum will be directed anteriorly. Then, as I told you, some people may have the lobulated or polycystic kidney. So, there will be failure of fusion between nephrons and the collecting tubule. Okay, because we know the kidney develops from two different sources. Okay, the excretory and the collecting system. So, if they don't fuse with each other, the kidney will appear lobulated. Okay, so what will be the feature? There will be diffuse bilateral progressive cystic deformity of the kidney. Finally, this person may land, yeah, can live the life, the baby can born normally. Okay, it may develop after some time, after some years, may go into renal failure. Horseshoe kidney. Okay, so what will happen? See, this metanephric cap, it may be fused, the right sided and left sided. Okay, so what will happen here? The two poles of the kidney will be fused with each other, will be connected with each other by the isthmus. In this also the ureters will be anterior, and this kidney also cannot ascend up. Why it cannot ascend up? Because of the presence of the inferior mesenteric artery here, which will stop the ascent of this, and the kidney will be present in this region. Okay, with this also the patient can survive normally, can live normal life without any problem. Okay, there can be duplication of the ureter as we in our case. So here we can say it can be double ureter like this. Okay, or it can be bifid ureter, or it can be double pelvis. Okay, are you okay? Can you tell me what are two structures which will develop the kidney? Yes.
ureter bed والميزونيفريك crab.
Okay. Metanephric cap. Very good. The metanephric cap. Okay, and the ureteric bud. Very good. And they will fuse. Okay, so in this the ureteric bud, it will form the collecting system, and the metanephric cap, it will form the excretory part. Okay, and then finally this metanephric cap, it will be connected to the collecting tubules. So these two parts should fuse with each other. If they don't fuse, what will happen? The kidney will be lobulated like this. Okay, which is present in the fetal life. In the fetal life, the kidney is lobulated. But as soon as the development is complete, the kidneys will become smooth. Okay, and the another important thing is ascent of the kidney. Okay, the kidney once developed, it has to ascend to the its normal position in the iliac fossa. Okay, so these are the congenital anomalies. Okay, this is the polycystic kidney where there is failure of fusion between the nephrons and the collecting tubules. Okay, we have another anomalies that is called as horseshoe kidney. Then anomalies in termination. So means development of two unit, but one will be normal. It should open where? It will open into the cloaca because cloaca is going to become the urinary bladder. Okay, so sometimes what will happen? It may open into some other part like the other part of the urinary bladder, urethra or ejaculatory duct. Okay, in female, the ectopic orifice may open into urinary bladder means normal position. It is posterior to urinary bladder. It may be anterior, it may be superior, any other position in urinary bladder, urethra or vagina. Now cloaca. So cloaca, we have taken some orientation about the cloaca. What is cloaca? Any idea? It is the lower dilated part of hindgut. When we saw the gut tube, we found that it has three parts: foregut, midgut, and hindgut. And the lower, or you can say the distal part of the hindgut, will dilate to form the cloaca. Okay, so this is the hindgut. Here you can see the cloaca. Okay, finally, the cloaca also will be partitioned. Okay, there will be partitioning of the cloaca, which will form the first part, okay, anorectal part and urogenital sinus. So the anorectal part will form the anus, the upper part of the anal canal and rectum. The urogenital sinus will form the part of urinary system, part of genital system. Okay. Now here you can see that this cloaca has a connection here with the allantois. Okay. Then at the end you can see there is a membrane which is called as cloacal membrane. Okay. If you remember in the gut tube we saw that there is a buccal membrane and there is buccal membrane at the starting and the cloacal membrane at the end, because at this stage the all the waste urinary or waste product is going to the umbilical cord through the allantois. So this part is closed by the cloacal membrane. So what happened to the cloaca? So first of all, our cloaca will be divided into anorectal canal. Okay, now we know what is it is going to form. Then primitive urogenital sinus. So what will happen to this primitive urogenital sinus? This will develop into definitive urogenital sinus and vesico-urethral canal. Okay, so very easy. Vesico means urinary bladder, except the trigone. Urethral means the primitive urethra. Okay, like whole urethra in female. Okay, but in male only the prostatic part of urethra. Then definitive urogenital sinus. It is going to give you the prostatic lower prostatic part of the urethra, membranous urethra. Okay, the phallic part, the spongy and penile urethra. Okay, clear? What happens to this? Okay, so the urinary bladder, it means the urinary bladder has two origin. One is from the vesico-urethral canal. And what about the trigone of the urinary bladder? It will develop from the ureteric bud, if you remember. So this is the cloaca. Okay. So this is a developing cloaca in which we have this blue color mesonephric duct which is going to form, okay, ureter. Then we have the allantois which is connected to the umbilical cord. This is the vesico-urethral part. This is the pelvic part. This is the phallic part. Okay. So now again, if we see, this part has become the urinary bladder. Okay. And also it is giving the upper part of the prostatic urethra. But in female, the whole of the urethra will be formed by the vesico-urethral part. Then this is the definitive urogenital sinus. So this is the pelvic part, which is giving the lower part of the prostatic urethra, membranous urethra, and this is the phallic part of the urethra. So in the urinary bladder, we have the epithelium of the urinary bladder, which develops from the cranial part of the vesico-urethral canal. Okay. What about the trigone? So it will be developed from the absorbed mesonephric ducts, means it is mesodermal in origin. Then muscles and the wall will also be mesodermal in origin, which develop from the splanchno-pleuric mesoderm. Finally, what happens to the allantois? It will atrophy to form the urachus. Okay, so urachus finally will form the median umbilical ligament. So just I want to show you first that finally what is the our position of the urinary bladder in adults. It is in the pelvis, true pelvis. But when it will start developing, it is an abdominal organ because the pelvis is very small. Then at the 6 years that it will little bit present in the pelvis, false pelvis. Then finally it will enter into true pelvis. So we have some conditions. So first I want to tell you about the urachus. Okay, as we know that the urinary bladder has the connection, means the allantois, finally which becomes urachus and disappear. Suppose this urachus is persistent like this. Okay, so there will be fistula from the urinary bladder to the umbilicus. Okay, there will be fistula from urinary bladder to umbilicus. Sometimes the urachus will not completely disappear. Okay, so it will be persist in the middle part. Okay, it will be persistent in middle part. Okay, so this is also it will not cause any problem. You cannot identify unless and until there is infection. Then we have the urachus sinus. Sinus means there will be the distal part which will be persistent. Okay, it means there is no connection with the urinary bladder, only this small part will be open, and if this is open it will be common site for the infection. Now there is one condition, extrophy of urinary bladder. Okay, so what is this? This is called as ectopia vesicae. This is called as ectopia vesicae. So here, this is the location. Here we should have the anterior abdominal wall. Okay, we know that when the development occurs, it occurs in all direction. Means the gut tubes developing, the muscles developing, the skin developing, the nerves developing, all other structures are developing together. Okay, so in one condition where there is absence of anterior abdominal wall below the umbilicus. Okay, so in that condition what will happen? The urinary bladder will be exposed to the exterior because there is no anterior abdominal wall. Generally, there is exposure of trigone of urinary bladder. There will be separation of the pubic bone because this is also not developed. The penis also will be divided into two parts. Okay, there will be also the separation of the scrotum. Okay, so it means it is whole problem in development of this area. Okay, the muscles not developed, the skin not developed, the urinary bladder will be exposed, even the bones have not developed. Okay, so this is called as extrophy means outside. The bladder, you can say the bladder is outside. Okay, this is ectopia vesicae. Then there are anomalies in the urethra. Okay, so now we know already that the urethra, it opens here at the tip of the glans penis. Okay, what is the normal position at the tip of the glans penis? But if there is problem with the canalization of the glandular plate, or there is problem with the fusion of the urogenital folds, what will happen? The urethra may open over the lower surface of the penis, here under surface of the penis. Can you see? This is called as hypospadias. Okay, it has many types, but at present no need. But you should know what is hypospadias. What is hypospadias? It is failure of fusion of urogenital fold or failure of canalization. So what is the site for urethra to open? It will open at under surface of the penis. Then there is another condition, epispadias. Okay, here the urethra opens on the cranial aspect of the penis. The urethra will be open on the dorsum of the penis and it is associated with the ectopia vesicae. Okay, so these are the two conditions. Here it will open on the dorsum of the penis. Okay, and here it will open on the under surface of the penis. Hypospadias and epispadias. So these are the different conditions for the opening of the urethra. Okay, so we finish here. Do you want me to repeat anything because I went little fast to complete it? So what is important here? It is important is the development of urinary bladder. Okay. Then the cloaca, already we know this is very important. If you remember, if you try to memorize, you can memorize all cloaca. The kidney is also very easy, but you should know the two sources and the pronephros, mesonephros, and metanephros. Okay. So I will finish here. Any questions?
Doctor,
Yes, please.
I didn't understand. I didn't understand the idea of lobulated kidney. Why it's lobulated and why it's
The
become
lobulations
soft.
in the kidney.
Yes.
Okay. The lobulation of kidney, it means when the kidney is developing, it will develop from two sources, right? So this is our kidney. Okay. So here we have the nephrons, right? And here we have the ureteric bud with its calyxes, right? So when it is completely developed, this minor calyx, major calyx will invaginate into pyramids. Do you remember this?
Yes.
It should be at the apex of the pyramids. Okay, so it means this is fusion, means they are fused. The ureteric bud is fused with the collecting system, right? Suppose it is not fused. Okay, suppose it is not fused. So the pyramids will be separately in its position. Okay, and this will be separately in position. So the outer surface of the kidney will have the system of the glomerulus and all, which will give it lobular appearance. Okay, because it has not fused, so it will give it lobular appearance. Clear?
Okay. So can we see that the ureter, when it collects the pyramids, it give us the soft appearance of the kidney?
Yeah, because
Okay.
they air the cortex and medulla will be different. Okay, it will
Yes.
not receive the final. If you cut the kidney, we will see this section, we will see like this. Okay, so this is normal. If we cut the kidney, we will see like this. But if you cut the polycystic kidney, okay, or the fetal kidney, its features will be different. Okay, so these pyramids, and you can say, because here what we have, basically we have the nephrons. Okay, so here we
Yes.
have the nephrons, which is present in both cortex and medulla. Okay, so
Okay.
these
Thank you.
nephrons will be separated from the ureteric bud. Okay,
Okay. Thank you.
so if you cut, their features will not be like this, it will be different. It will be, you can say, disorganized. Okay, maybe this is the better word. It will not be like this, it will be disorganized, which will not give the smooth appearance like this. Okay,
Okay.
okay, so thank you so much. I will finish here. Very good luck. See you in